I want to give her the opportunity to be able to tell her story. She's got a very unique story. It's come a long way in a short amount of time. So we want to hear about the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, and a lot of times on these type of things, you only hear about the great stuff. You don't hear about the real, and I like to be real. So let's do that here. Talk about where you're at, when we met, and how we met, and how you heard about me, and then we'll just kind of get into, you know, how you got to be in another country and doing your own thing there, and all kinds of stuff. So go ahead, let it rip. How did you start to hear about me? How did you come Jenksified?
I guess I just noticed your posts. I noticed how angry people got, you know, a lot of the time when posting, and I was like, hey, this guy's like speaking my language, because I do the same thing, and but I was just doing it like, you know, and being poor doing it.
Right. Right. So you saw me on, somehow or another we became friends, and on my private Facebook account, and you then saw my posts that were generating attention, and you were our health coach industry, right? So how were you doing with your client acquisition when you started to see my posts?
Pretty bad. I had kind of started to get some attention, and I had one client that had been referred to me by a friend.
Right.
Which I guess I don't even really count.
Right. So lay down.
So, I wasn't really getting any traction at all. I knew I had a lot to offer, but I was just scatterbrained, like always like shiny object syndrome to the max, like watching webinars here and there, like just totally confused about what to do. I enrolled in other programs that were even more expensive than
tell us how expensive the program. You don't have to say the name, but how much was it?
$9,000.
Right. So it's $9,000. And then how many clients did you get from what you learned in there?
None.
Right. Okay. So here we have an individual who's motivated because you basically a single mom, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to provide for your kids. So it's not like you're not a motivated person. I mean, you want to do the work, but
I was working a lot.
Right.
I was working like 70 hours at least a week. And I invested like all the money that I had from my tax returns, which I still had. I just received it, and I invested in that program. And it just, I mean, I even had a babysitter and was like doing every single thing that they told me to do. And I wasn't getting any results.
Right. And then, so you and I talked, how did we get to the PM, to a private message? How did that happen? Did you PM me or I PM you?
No. I said, you said you're cleaning up your friends list. And I'm like, oh, please don't delete me.
Right.
Because I think I need your help. I could use some help with my closing rate or something like that.
Right. Right.
And so then you PM'd me, and it wasn't even like, I mean, it was like 2 lines, and you just sent me your link, and I was like, yes.
Right. So then we booked, we talked, and you got into the program. And what was your thoughts, upon like, okay, I'm in now? What happened? What were you thinking about what you were encountering?
I was just ready to rock. I mean, as soon as I paid you, I was like, what's next? You gave me my first homework assignment. I did it right away. I just kept, picking your brain. I probably bugged you way more than you wanted me to, but I was just like, but I was just like, he knows what he's talking about. Just gave all my trust in you, and really took the guesswork out of my business. Like every time I was like, should I do my webinar, or should I do this? Or, you're just like, shut up, don't do that, do this.
Right. So, because I think it makes sense to have a business that makes money before you start to spend money on marketing methods. Once you start to generate income and you have some disposable income, you can pour back into your business to scale it up, to grow it. But I really don't think, today's world, and I understand that now you're in Ecuador and things are cheaper, but still in today's world, you got to make around 10 grand a month or close thereabout to be able to kind of be in the position to scale your business up. And you know what we talk about, what we learn, damn light on me, it will never go away, because it doesn't matter that it's Facebook, because you could use this anywhere. And if you know how to do this, you'll never be poor. So what you've learned, you'll never be poor again, because this will work forever. You can use it on Facebook. You can use it on LinkedIn. You can use it in person. It will. You have the key now to never do that. And so you learned how to prospect, right? So what are some things that we did to you at the beginning that made a difference in the way you were going about stuff?
I think kind of giving me like a blueprint for like the process to make it really, because I was working and just spinning my wheels and like going every which direction. It was really unfocused. So having that blueprint and then like the confidence that I knew it was going to work, and just going for it.
Right.
I think that was the most helpful at the very beginning. And then also with the calls, I mean, I closed my first call after, 5 days after I started working with you. And,
right. And how much was that package for?
It was $2,000.
$2,000. But we've upped since. Now you're selling, right, considerably more than that. Mm-hmm. Almost double.
Yeah. 3,500 is what I'm doing now.
Right. And, with, you learned how to prospect, you learned how to get on social media and to be able to generate noise, which is free, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're good at that. And then you learned how to transition those into a private message conversation, mm-hmm. and how to take those PMs and to make them to a strategy session. And then you learn how to convert on the strategy sessions and to get paid on the call or close thereabouts. So that's the skill set that you acquired. And for people who watch this and think, well, yeah, but you're a health coach, maybe that's easy. No, your branding of health coaching is a tough sell, because you're talking about getting people like on a raw detox, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a tough sell. So most health coaches, they don't go that way. So if you could do it, then they definitely could do it, because it's a harder sell to get somebody just to eat raw food and vegetables and stuff,
right. Well, and I don't just do raw food. I mean, I meet them where they're at, but my focus is a plant-based diet,
right?
Low fat, low protein, plant-based diet. It doesn't all have to be raw food, but if you want to go that far, then I take them.
Right.
Then also we do a lot of deeper stuff like emotional work, and because a lot of people, if they're having health issues, there's always deeper emotional problems that we address.
And speaking about emotional stuff, mindset, what kind of stuff did you have to go through to and with me and the program in order to get your mind right? Because I know you've kind of went up and down sometimes. Take us through the lows.
Okay, so at first I was like really excited and just like I didn't even really think about anything negative. I was like, this is going to work. I just paid a bunch of money. I know it's going to happen. And I made some deals. And then I really hit a low spot and I just started like reverting back to my old, like, you can't do this. You're not good enough. Nobody's going to pay you this amount of money, even though I had made deals. Like,
right.
it just like all this stuff came up in me. And then it happened. I mean, it happened to where I wasn't able to close deals because I was so focused on this lack mindset. And I think, well, you made a video and pinned it in the group.
Right.
I knew it was like, because I had been complaining so much, and it was exactly what I needed to hear. And it just like turned me around right away. And like, I just got back on and got motivated again. And, every time I complained or said anything that was like negative, you were just like straight with me and were like, stop that. This is what you need to do. Like,
right.
And just got me right back on it. So,
right. Cause it's not theory, you know, it's like if you do it, like I'm giving you the formula. These are the keys. This is how you can learn how to sell, because when you become an entrepreneur, I say it all the time, but when you become an entrepreneur, you also become a salesperson. And like we say in Georgia, we lost the Super Bowl, but I got to still do it because I'm in mourning. But yeah, what a horrible loss. You know, like we wait for all these years. I'm not even a big football guy, but I have to. It's my hometown, right? So I have to represent, and so they lose so bad. But anyways, I think that when you get down, you just have to understand that this works. It's worked for other people, and this is not like tech stuff. This is not like doing webinars or building lists. None of that stuff I'm not against, but I think for 99% of the people out there, it's premature. They need to build up a solid foundation. You need to build up your testimonials. You need to build up a lot of stuff before you get into something that's more automated, where people have the trust to want to buy from you. And it's totally doable. Now, tell me, because we're big on the, in the group. Has the group helped you? What is like to have the Facebook group? What's that been for you?
Yeah, I think that has been, second to you, and your personal help has been the biggest thing that's really helped me, because it's not just what's in the group too. Like all these people, I have personal messages with also a bunch of other people in the program. Like we've become like sisters.
Right.
It's like a family. And we're even doing our own calls now. And I even could jump on the phone, and I've been helping other people in your program. Right. Just jumping on the phone with them and coaching them through the process, and more on the mindset side of things, because I really had to overcome so much for myself to be able to like my money blocks and all sorts of like just self-worth issues and stuff, to be able to do what I do now. And so I'm helping other people through that as well.
Don't you think that a lot of the stuff with the money blocks and stuff, I think it comes through pushing through those, and that's what makes you great. Like, if you're an athlete, if you don't feel good, if your mindset, if you think, boy, this team is just going to beat our pants off, I can't do it, or blah, 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 you still go out and perform. And, it's like motion creates emotion. So if you go out there and do it, you'll start to get the feeling, you'll start to feel momentum, and it's very powerful. And to know, and I know it's oversaid and it's cliche, but to trust the process. Mm-hmm.
And also, it's like a practice, fake it till you make it kind of thing. Like, you just got to do it as if you are, you retrain your brain to feel
confident.
Yeah, to feel confident by just doing what you know you need to do, instead of just being like wallowing in the self-pity and the mess.
Which is huge in what we teach in framing, but making sure that we lead the call, our strategy sessions, in a position of authority with the person, guiding them so that we instill confidence in them. Because if we don't do that, they're not going to feel confident about you.
Right.
And that's mostly what they have to be sold on, is you. Right? Because let's face it, people can pretty much Google like whatever they want, but they want somebody that can distill it down for them, because it's Google. It's like an open line of information, right? And they don't know what's right, how to put it together. So they want a person, you, to put it together for them and to guide them through it. And so they have to have that confidence in you. So important.
Right.
So you
I feel so good about
you have to understand that you're on a mission, and that you're on a mission to help these people. And you do them a disservice by not being confident, by not stepping into a level of high certainty. You have to step in a high level of certainty for not just for you, but for them if you want to rescue them.
Yep.
So it's a lot of times we won't do things for ourselves that we will do for other people. And, that's why programs like Alcoholics Anonymous, they're all set up on that, right? So if one person will help another person when they're down, because a lot of times as human beings, we'll do things for other people that maybe we won't do so well for ourselves. Like, for instance, somebody will want to lose weight so they could be around for their kids, or they won't want to make money to give their kids a better life. So they have that extra level of motivation. Like a mom will do all kind of crazy stuff for their kids that they maybe necessarily wouldn't do just for themselves, but they'll go above and beyond for their kids, even, risk their life. So that's what we do when we get on these calls. We come in this high level of certainty at a sense of duty, believing in what we have, and to show up with a high level of certainty. And that was good framing when you come across like that. Mm-hmm. Not like trying to sell to people. Nobody even likes to be sold to. But to lead somebody is a totally different way. It's thinking about the whole sales process in a different light, and that's what we talk about. That's what the whole thing is about. It's leadership selling.
Totally. I'm pretty blunt with them on the phone. Usually when I close a deal, it's because I really tell them the truth and it hurts.
Right.
And I'm not I'm nice about it, and I do it in a way that they can really trust me. And I tell them, I have a duty to tell you the truth here. I have a duty to make you realize how serious your situation is.
Right. Yeah. So that's the pain part, right? So we go from the frame to the pain to the brain to win the game, which is preferably to get paid on the call. Right. So that's what you're doing, and you're doing good. I think you're doing at least a deal a week.
Yeah. Except for the time that I took off.
Right, you disappeared. Travel. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. You learning this and starting to make money has enabled you to basically to start a new life.
Totally. Yeah. I was homeless and living with friends and just right. I was not in a good situation. And step by step, I'm just digging myself out of this pit. And it wasn't I needed a bunch of money to spend on ads or anything, right. I just did it organically, just get on Facebook and start reaching people that needed my help, because there's so right. many people that need my help. And so now I'm at the point where I'm moving to Ecuador. Yes, it's cheaper to live here, but moving your whole entire family to another country is not cheap.
Right.
So I'm going to be living in paradise, and I am here right now. You could probably hear the birds and stuff behind me. It's right. Absolutely cool, so.
Right. So that's what it's all about, to be able to help people. And when you do that, when you serve enough people, that makes you greater. Right. So if you want to be great, you got to serve a lot of people and serve more people, and you'll be able, then that'll improve your life, which is kind of the circle of service. Right. So you see that right. the fly getting on you in paradise there. They have the flies in paradise still. Mm-hmm. So in summary, what would you tell somebody who's they're watching this in the future, maybe who knows how far in the future, and they're thinking about joining the program? Just give them a summation of why they should trust the materials.
Okay. Well, I've told a lot of people, this has totally changed my life. It works. It works every time. And, as long as I put in the time and get my own mind to shut up and just right. do what I'm supposed to do, it works so well. And people are thanking me. Even on the PMs, they're thank you so much for taking your time to schedule a call with me. Right. And then they're thank you so much for taking your time to talk with me after they pay me thousands of dollars. They're so grateful. And that just totally fuels me. And I mean, I don't think that anybody should have to do this on their own. Even me, you know, I'm doing really well, but there are still things that come up, and there are still things that I need help with. And there's just so many pieces to the puzzle. And, you know, like you said, Google, yeah, you can Google some of this stuff, but there's way too much information out there. And if you want to take 5-10 years to figure it out, great.
Right.
But if you want to do it in like a month, then you need help. And also, if you expect people to pay you and enroll in your program to get your help, then you have to be the kind of person that is willing and open to receiving help from somebody else.